Let's begin by saying that, of course, all lives matter. But when that is our response to Black Lives Matter, it diminishes the power of both statements. It leads us away from the real issue to obscure what can and needs to be done to heal our society now. In fact, our Torah portion addresses this in the story of Korach, Datan, and Abiram. They rise up in revolt against Moses' leadership and are eventually swallowed up by God in a fiery earthquake. What did they do wrong? On the outside, their words, like those of any good populist revolution, are stirring, logical, and hard to disagree with. All the community are holy. Well, yes, of course they are. Why then do you, Moses and Aaron, raise yourselves above this whole congregation? That is a good question, Korach. Moses and Aaron are just people, too, like all the children of Israel. What singles them out? And who voted them leaders? Korach and Co. have tried to give their uprising legitimacy by using slogans and asking hard questions that seem at first hearing to be true and just, but when we unpack them, they mask a hidden agenda. So let's do that. Firstly, are all the community holy? Yes, but not without acting in a holy way. Why have Moses and Aaron raised themselves above the rest of the Israelites? Well, it wasn't them that did that. It was God who appointed them to teach the people the Torah and how to observe it, which they then spend 40 years doing across the Sinai desert. You see, they have been in charge of introducing to this mass of freed slaves the rule of law and justice. Not Pharaoh's law, not Moses or Aaron's law, the Torah, a system of just and righteous living that will require the participation of all people in making a better society for all its people. What system were Korach and his supporters proposing in place of God's system? The answer seems to be their own rule and power. With no details of what that might mean, all they sought to do was take down the current leadership and replace them with themselves. And we see this time and time again through history in popular revolutions where the revolutionaries themselves become the new oppressors. And this is concealed in a slogan that implies a just cause to distribute power more fairly. The Torah is not a slogan. It's the detail that is the key. Study Torah and you will see teachings like love your neighbor as yourself, tzedek, tzedek tirdof, justice, justice you shall pursue. And again, do not oppress the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Perhaps the Torah's obsession and urgency in pursuing justice was the awareness that communities are not inclined by their nature to be loving, just, and kind. That the human race has a history and present of war, oppression, and rule by might. The Israelites had come from 400 years of brutal slavery. In South Africa, we have come from 370 years of colonial oppression. Perhaps the Torah takes so much time to remind us that we were strangers in Egypt, to acknowledge that having been victims, we are at greater risk of repeating oppressive behaviors ourselves. Because the Israelites were oppressed, they were more likely to take up the tools of the oppressor themselves as soon as they had won their freedom. So when the call goes out that Black Lives Matter, it's not questioning whether all lives matter. It's telling us that in many black people's experience, their lives do not seem to matter to those who have built-in privilege and power. And in South Africa, that is me. And the work that I have to do right now is listen. Listen and respond with humble and just action, not reactive defensiveness. The latter is the work of Korach, the former, the teachings of the Torah of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam.